Here to do readings this evening, everybody. Hi, everybody. This is Spirit Medium Laura. If you do want a reading and you find me on Facebook, you do have to call a phone number to get in the queue. And there's also a donation system to jump to the top of the queue. I already have 2 donations. Just saying that because I can't get to everybody usually. And if it's an urgent matter, you might want to make a donation, which is only $8 and goes to an animal rescue charity, which is my favorite kind of charity these days. I've just lost my cat, everybody. I'll be talking about that next week, but that event, although she was 17 years old, so was her time to go, but was surrounded by a series of psychic events, some of which were quite illuminating for me. One I think can be very helpful to people, and that is grief and how we gain closure through communication with spirit. But I'll be talking about that next week because I'll be back. Yes, I'll be back doing this all over again next week. Okay, so we have a Blog Talk radio show in the background. And all of those that are watching on Facebook, you may not know how to get a reading. And that is by calling 347 945 5849. And that is written in the comments section of this live video. So keep that in mind. Love you all. I'm just going to say hello to a couple of people here. Sarah Meyer, hi. Esme, hi. Just to let you know. Peggy, hi. Peggy Kennedy, hi. Some people I know. Oh, Heather Frink, of course, I know Heather. Hi, Heather. Mary Tipton, hi, honey. And yeah, so sad. The number again is written, Peggy, at the top in the comments section. I'm not going to be able to take the time to keep saying it all night, but I will say it one more time, which is 347 945 5849. It's in writing up there. And it's also, hi, Monica. And it's also on the banner for Spirit Medium Laura on Facebook, on my public figure page. It's on all of my pages, actually, whatever pages I do have. It's there, 347 945 5849. And so we have a lot of people already in the queue on Blog Talk Radio. And if you're just tuning in now on Facebook, you might want to join my mailing list so you can be reminded and get in the queue early, okay? Because if you call in 15 minutes early, you have a better chance of being read. Also, if you make a donation, which is called the 8 to No Wait, and all of this is detailed at a website. And that's where you make the donation. That website is spiritmediumtv.com. If you want to watch me live, those people on Blog Talk Radio that don't like to just listen but want to see, go to Spirit Medium Laura on Facebook. You know, just go to Facebook, sign in. Ooh, just saw something very interesting. I'll talk about it in a moment. But if you want to watch me live, all of those that are on Blog Talk Radio and don't, you can't see me because you just called in, you can actually see me live on Facebook. So go to Facebook, sign in, look for Spirit Medium Laura, and you will find my page, my public figure page, and there I have the video going. Hey, and you can follow me there too. If you're listening, like me, follow me there because I always put out a message early. Okay. So there's a couple of notices, how to see me, how to make the donation. It's the 8 No Wait. If you have an urgent matter, just can't wait, donate 8 and jump the gate. And you do that at spiritmediumtv.com. And I think I've covered most of the logistics that I need to talk about. So now I'm going to just to give you an idea of what's coming up, everybody. I'm going to talk about a focused subject. Hopefully it'll be insightful and useful to you. And then I will go into a meditation with you all, and then the phone lines. Finally, right? And hopefully the messages, when I do messages, quite often the information is important for a lot of people. The Spirit comes in to teach many people, not just, I try to do, obviously I'm going to do a reading specifically answering your question, but quite often there's universal information coming through. So I always attempt to expand that a little bit so that we all walk away with something from this experience. Okay. So today's focus subject, as I like to call it, is what's the difference between a magic spell and manifesting? Do you know that if you say anything about a spell and you're trying to be an ethical medium, that is a no-no? Okay? But it is part of the energy paradigm, if you will. It is a tool. Okay? Spells do things. They can be good, they can be bad. In general, I would say a spell is not the best tool for manifesting. The reason is I have experience with this. When I grew up in a house where my mother was always talking about manifesting and using law of attraction. It wasn't called law of attraction back then, but using meditation techniques to create reality. This is not a new thing. Okay? Some of you may have heard of it as law of attraction. Some of you may have heard of the term manifesting. Others might have heard of The Secret, Abraham Hicks, all of this, right? It's all kind of about the same thing, but it's not new. This has been around for many, many, many years. I finished 2 years of training at Center for Spiritual Living. And if you want a shorthand way of understanding what they teach, it's a church. Think of Wayne Dyer, think of Louise Hay. Okay, those mindsets. Louise Hay was a reverend or minister of that particular church, if you will. It's all about creating reality through our thinking. And that began with Thoreau, the early 1800s. But actually, there's other things even before that. My mother belonged to the secret society of the Rosicrucians. Okay, guys, I got to stop my little lecture for a second. I am seeing on the right side of the screen blue lights that are every now and then going up. I don't know if anybody else is noticing it. I'm going to go on Facebook, see if anybody else is seeing that. Anybody else see those blue lights? Now, oh, it's hearts and stuff. How'd that happen? How am I getting hearts and blue lights? If anybody knows how that happened, let me know. Because I thought it was like spirit coming in. Okay, duh. I feel kind of dumb. Okay, so my mother belonged to the Rosicrucians, and they taught her how to use a mirror and stare into the mirror and create reality. That would be called self-hypnosis now. Stare into the mirror and create reality. I started doing that when I was like 12 years old, and I got immediate results. All right. So anyway, there is such a thing as spells, and they do work, but not in a holistic way. That's what I'm trying to say. And so in my particular life, I used manifesting techniques, which is holistic. It's taking in your whole being. You co-create with universal mind. It's not just somebody's going to come in and do a spell and manipulate energy. And that's what a spell does. If you are having trouble with manifesting something, you might have turned to a spell. Okay? You said, well, screw it. I'm tired of manifesting, right? I just want what I want. Let me light a candle and get it over with. And I did that. I had an area in my life that was not working out. Okay? Money, I was really great at manifesting success in my career. Why? Because I believed that I could be that successful person. But when it came to love, secret, I was kind of blocked. And so I finally, I think it was 38 years old, I turned to a spell. Okay? My sister gave me a spell that she didn't need, and I says, okay, I'll do it because I'm tired of trying and it's not working, everything else I'm doing. Lo and behold, 2 weeks later, but within 2 weeks' time, 14 days, bam, met somebody, had a long-term relationship. It was a very loving relationship, but there was a big deficiency there, which led me out of that relationship. I will not share too much private stuff because there is such a thing as TMI, too much information, but let's suffice it to say that it didn't work out. So I was ready for my next, shall we say, experience. And it was on February 14th, 1998. My date stood me up and I said, I can't take this anymore. Trying to use manifesting doesn't work. Law of attraction doesn't work. I am going to get a spell. I did. And again, within 2 weeks, bam, I met a man and I married him. Wow, this stuff really works. I was feeling very, very fortunate, shall we say, or very powerful, shall we say. But that didn't work out either. So I was kind of forcing things, I guess. Third time I did it, that didn't work out. The marriage didn't work out. Bam, within 14 days, it always seemed to be like that for me. I met another man and I did fall in love with him. But man, was there karma. Woo! Suffering. Now, the end product of all this, and the last one was the hardest one to get over for me. I learned so much. So the moral here is that when we use an energy manipulation method, we bring in lessons. Okay? We bring in our karma, okay? What things we can overcome. So it's not bad, but it could be painful. When you try to manifest and you're not manifesting, you turn to another way to manipulate energy, you might have that happen to you. And I think an easy way to say this, if any of you have ever seen the movie Bedazzled, it came out, I think, in 2000. Elizabeth Hurley was in it, as well as Brendan Fraser. I love Brendan. I like both of them, actually. It was a great movie. Hilarious. And Elizabeth Hurley plays the devil, and Brendan Fraser plays this very insecure, little wimpy guy who can't get the girl he really likes at work. So he meets the devil, and he says, okay, you can have my soul if you can help me get this girl. So the devil says, oh, yeah, I'll help you get the girl. And so she grants him 7 wishes. And each of those wishes is a nightmare. Each of those wishes gets him a little closer to the lady that he wants, but blows it up on him. It was hilarious. I won't go into all of it because I know you all want me to go to the phone lines. But finally, when he can't stand it anymore, can't stand the lessons anymore, he throws in the towel and says, I'm not going to do this anymore. I think he's at the 6th wish. He says, I don't want your help. I'm just going to be me. And with that, a huge turn of events occurs. And I'm going to compress the story. Ultimately, he gets a girlfriend by being himself, by loving himself, by being his authentic self, having confidence, and realizing self-acceptance is the idea here that would work. He didn't really do it for that reason, just happened that way. When you are yourself, that's when you bring in your counterparts. So if you're not getting something that you want in your life, manifesting can maybe bring it out, that you're not in sync with that vibrationally. A spell could bring it out also. So the cure for all of this, or the solution is, rather than worry so much about manifesting or worry so much about a spell, work on your vibration. Work on what you're emanating. If it's love in particular, which I'm using that today as my example, work on loving yourself. I've written an article on this, manifesting versus magic spells. It's on my website. You can get to it by going to spiritmediumtv.com, which is a page on my website. That's where I have all the information about this show. You can see it there. If you're listening to this at a future point in time, just search on my website for manifesting versus magic spell. And you will find the article. And at the end of it, it has a free webinar on how to use frequency to help in your manifesting. Because one way to overcome the belief systems is to go into a very deep theta brainwave state with the right sound vibration. And that will help you develop the right frequency, the right belief system. It actually helps you believe differently because it moves to a deep level, very, very deep level. It's like a hypnotic level. And there's a webinar on that. There is a product offering on that link as well, which if it's suitable for you, go, knock yourself out, buy the product. If not, that's fine. I just thought I would provide that to you as a resource. Okay. So now we're going to do, see if anybody made a comment on Facebook. Okay, Leslie, going to have to call the number I mentioned. Everything, by the way, for everybody on Facebook, all the details of how to call and everything is written in the comments above this video. I think it shows. I have never, I don't know. If not, go to spiritmediumtv.com and I'll give you the phone number. Again, it's area code 347-945-5849 to get in the reading queue. Otherwise, I don't read off of Facebook. Hey, you never know. Someday I may try to, because I did once or twice in the past and it worked out okay. But generally speaking, I do like to get a vocal connection because the voice vibration is better psychically, in case you're all wondering. Okay. So what I need you all to do is to sit back in your respective locations. We have a couple of people that did make donations, and I will check to see if there's anybody else. Let me just see if I have 508 there. There's 508. That's probably Sylvia. Let me just make that note to myself. Sylvia did donate first, so I'm just making a note, honey, Sylvia. You're there. Okay, I do have a lot of people in the queue. I'm not trying to get you to donate. Believe me, I don't need it. I don't need that donation. It's going for charity, and I'm just trying to help you out. But that's what I try to do. I try to find a way for people who are, more than just curious, to get their questions answered. Okay, so everybody listening, we're going to do a meditation, prayer, energy connection. So sit back in your respective location and uncross your arms and legs. Start to focus on your breath, breathing in deeply from your abdomen, breathing in deeply. And on the exhale, letting go of any and all tension, releasing and relaxing, feeling good about yourself. Breathing in deeply when you're ready from your abdomen. And what I need you to do, if you're wanting a life question, focus in on your question now, asking Spirit for help. If you're wanting an other side connection, please focus in on your loved ones and ask them to join us. Or whoever it is you want. You never know. Every now and then I get very unusual situations with Spirit. I'll talk about that later. Okay, and while you do that, I'm going to go off and invoke the Master Prayer. I'll be back in a second. And now, on your next exhale of breath, please release into your respective space your energy. Send me your energy, and I will connect us. One moment, please. Oh, just Spirit started to speak to me and said, healing energy is everything. Vibrational energy is everything. Okay, so Thais, you're the second donation, and the first donation is Sylvia. Sylvia has a life question. Okay, hi Sylvia, how are you? I can hear you just fine, love. I do have your question here. I'm not going to say too much of it, lest, I don't want to reveal too much about it, but she's, right. Yeah, sure, I can understand that. She wants to know if a particular creative work that she has done will make it, will receive acceptance. So hold on, that's the way I'm going to ask the question. Okay, love, so let me just go to that. Sylvia. Yes, it will go through as you're hoping. You don't need to worry about anything. All the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. It feels like you're at a last stage of this, as if there's a contract in place. So if you haven't received anything in writing, it feels like it is in writing, a contract. And maybe you're asking if the contract will come through. I'm not quite sure, but with you abbreviated something, so it could mean that. But I'm getting yes. Okay, I'm getting a very yes. And so is it, do you know if there's already a contract in place, love, or is something written up? All right. Well, what I'm getting is yes, and I do see something in writing coming through for you. And what I need to do before I let you go is I need to bring in something else about it, that a checkpoint for validation, if you will. So bear with me, honey. I have no idea. This wait, This is the way a good psychic should work. Not just say yes and then leave you go off on into the sunset. Hold on, Sylvia. Oh. And so would you understand that there is a female that you've been working with at the organization that you're trying to gain acceptance from? I see a woman, middle-aged, wearing glasses. Would you understand that, please? Okay, because I see a female woman who's working with you. And maybe it's not she's the intermediary then to the right, to the organization. So I do see a female, and it looks like she's wearing glasses, and her hair is like a medium to shorter length, and seems to have a bit of wave to it, and it's on the brown side. Would that make sense to you, please? Yes, no, maybe? Okay. Well, she's thinking very clearly and carefully about this, and I hear it again, there is a contract in place coming very shortly. So that was your checkpoint, a piece of validation for you. And as it sits right now, it looks like a very strong yes. Okay, my dear? Thank you, love. God bless. Bye-bye. Okay, so now I'm going to go to Thais. Okay. Thais is my very dear old friend. Been working with her for a long time. Hey, Thais. Hi, sweet. I'm great, darling. Okay, sweetie, I'm not going to ask you how you are. I'm going to ask you to give me your question. I'm not being rude. I just don't want you to tell me too much. Okay, you're very mixed up in life right now. Okay, wait, just give me a second here because the message was coming in even before you asked your question. I hear something about you being very mixed up and confused right now in your life about something that you started in the past but doesn't seem to be carrying through for you. I do feel it is work related, if you will. And I think that what we need to do is get you clear on what you really want and then get you going on that versus me saying a flat, oh, you'll get this job, you'll get that job. I think we have to clarify what you want. Okay? Because what I'm picking up is you'll take anything and then sometimes you want something else. Make sense? All right. So now I want you to go ahead and ask you a question that we coughed up that little bit of information. What is the exact question you have on your mind? And then we'll weave it all together. Go ahead. I do get a yes on that. I'm going to see what that is. Give me initials of the place of business, please, or the title of V is in Victor, V is in Victor, and D is in dog. So D is, okay, let me try it again, love. D is in Dawn, right? Okay. And D is in dogs. Okay, so it's two D's, really. Okay. DD. Hold on. Will they give her more responsibility? Yes or no? Yeah, they're going to move up the ladder there. And they're asking you, being so silly to even ask the question, because you really know you're good at what you're doing and that they like you there. I do feel there's a little bit of competition in the air, or at least you view it that way. There's somebody trying to get ahead of you, or somebody's like you suspect there might be negative influences around you, if you will. Competitive individual that's trying to get your job instead of you get it. But ultimately, out of beyond what you're seeing, it is a good place to work, and they do like you there. The other person trying to get ahead and around you feels like a female co-worker, and she feels like she speaks English and Spanish. Would you know who I'm speaking about, please? Yeah, but she's not very qualified. She's just very loud. Okay, so I want you to put your mind at ease. Okay, put your mind at ease. You're going to get ahead there. So be your normal, nice, quiet self, but effective self. And I believe that other person is sort of getting in her own way because she's kind of brassy personality, if you will, in everybody's face. But it's not an effective strategy for where you work to get anywhere. So the answer is I do feel that, and keep up the good work and don't be insecure. Okay, be very secure and keep asking. They're also saying keep asking for what you want in the job. Keep reminding and asking, this is what I want. What do I need to do to get there? Um, I'm being told, yeah, I'm being told to tell you that because you need to communicate that so that they don't overlook you when they're looking for someone. Part of the equation, part of what they're looking for is someone who wants to take on responsibility. So the more you show that you can, and the more you explain that you want more responsibility, the more likely it is to come to you. And so that's two things to do. And the third thing is back to what I said before, do not be insecure, just be effective. Okay? Okay. All right, sweetheart, whatever you need to do, love, and whatever God. All right, honey. God bless. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you, honey. Bye-bye. Okay. I'll just make sure there's no other donations, and I will try now, just to be fair, or try to be fair, I will try to pull in somebody who got on Facebook early and do one of those, even though you didn't call in. Well, maybe you did call in. Now, can I get that? I can't even see what's here. God, it's so hard, everybody that's on Facebook Live, it's so hard to even see what's here. Everybody's all over the place. Well, I do remember Mary was early, but it looks like she might have left. Mary Tipton, if you are still there, God, how do I get this down here? I think she might have left. If you are still there, I'm trying to go to the bottom of all the comments. I need you to make a comment. Mary Tipton, if you don't, I am going to ask somebody to make a comment at the end of the comments, and I will pick up the question. So the first person that does that, if it's not Mary Tipton, let me see who it is. Okay. Nobody's putting anything down. All right, wonderful. I'm just going to go over to Blog Talk then and do a reading. I'm very happy to do so. Maybe a little sluggishness on Facebook. I'm not quite sure. Okay, so I'm going to the first person who called in and got in the queue that did not make a donation is Aisha. Hey, Aisha. Hi, sweetheart. All right. Sure, let's see what comes through. I love questions like this. Everybody's different as a psychic, all of you that are listening. And, some psychics are they're better at making like predictions and things, like card deck and all that. I don't do that. I'm working with healing energies, and they're psychic, but they don't go into fortune, which is really not my bailiwick. So it's a great question. Aisha, and okay, so let me just go to your area code. Trying to find you in the switchboard. I actually use your 423. There it is. All right, hold on one second. I'll connect with you. You are highly intelligent, highly skilled in the work arena, very qualified to do a lot of different things. You're really open-minded about what you would do. You're not really that locked in to any one thing. Let's see where they're going. Don't interrupt me now, honey. Let it flow for a little bit. I feel like you're kind of like one of these people that is very talented, and it's hard to pinpoint something, like as if to say you could do a lot of different things. I also have a sense of you being a very good communicator. I also have a sense of you being somehow in personnel or working with employees, management or human resources or personnel in a larger organization. Would you be able to confirm that for me, please? Yes, no, maybe? Okay, I feel like you should be working in, well, I see human resources around you, and I see you working with people in human development, human growth and development. Um, is that what you're wanting to do, honey? That could take many shapes and forms. It doesn't have to be in a large organization. It could take many shapes and forms. But you're really good with people, understanding them, and also mining the gold within each person and getting it out of them, so to speak, allowing people to express themselves. You're a good communicator, but you're trying to help other people find their voice and communicate their inner self. And it could also be coaching. It could be coaching, could be self-employment, or it could be within an organization. Within an organization, it takes out of the equation self-employment, which is a bit of a struggle for you. Okay, so you should look. What I'm seeing is to work for an organization where you can use this human growth and resources kind of thing. It could be either it could be in management, it could be in training in an organization, it could be in human resources, a lot of different ways to do it, but you're developing people and what they can do. And that's kind of, yeah, that's very expressive for you. So let me see if I can give you a little more detail on that. Let me see if they'll tell me anything more. You are gonna open up, oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute, they say a new book of business. I don't know what they mean by that. You're gonna be opening up something that is like a store or a business, believe it or not, a business. And they a book of business. It's a business. You're going to open up your own business, and you are going to be doing this work. You don't really need to worry about it too much. I think what you've been wondering is, I really want to work with people and helping them grow, but I'm afraid of the business. But they're saying that you will do this and it will work out well. Yeah, because what you're going to do is you're going to parallel it. You're going to look for your prospects in areas you know are fertile for this type of service. And so what you can go after organizations. See, you like, for example, you can come in and teach something in a company, but you won't be working at the company. Okay. Yeah, that'll work for you because it's not that insecure. You know that this type of service that you have, this gift you have, will work well, and that you'll have very lucrative clients. And I can go on and on and on about this. I'm going to see if I can give you a little more detail if you need it. You may already know what that is. Do you know already what it is, honey? Otherwise, I'll try to find out what it is. Give it a little more shape. Well, it's this. I kind of felt healing center. I didn't say it, but I want to add it in. I did feel healing center also. But you see, it doesn't. If I were to package you, I would say you need to define exactly what you're doing that is of benefit to others. And then you need to create flavors of it for different clients. The corporate client, right? The corporate client version would be a little different than the consumer, direct consumer version of it. You can go from a woo-woo to very practical. You just put different clothes on the same service. You package it a little differently. And I'm going to see because then you won't have to be all over the place. And one of the things you need to do is get extremely, extremely, extremely targeted in what it is you're trying to do. It's human growth and development. You want to help people grow. You're a very, very good communicator, but you want to help other people communicate their truth. This is what I'm getting. Uh, so a book is important. It'll help. It's part of all this, but it's not the only thing. Having your own center, right? Having your own center is great. Having classes there on a regular basis for the average consumer on growth-oriented topics. You don't only have to have your own thing going on. You can have other people come in and rent the space and help you with that. Actually see a space happening for you. And then the third thing, of course, is what are you going to do when you go into a corporation? What are you going to do? So I'm going to see if I can get the pinpoint on this, and then I will move on to another caller. Aisha. It's confidence. It's like coming up from nothing and making something of yourself. It's finding the gold within. We said that before, but we're going to say it again. Data mining for your own talents and then expressing them. And it's like, right? And because if you come into this earth with adverse circumstances, all the programming is you can't do it. You're all about that reprogramming. You're all about not just reprogramming, but actually it's a different way around it. It's like finding the gifts and talents a person has so that the reprogramming is the byproduct. And you can do that in a corporate flavor of it or a corporate version of this, gifts and talents. And for example, teaching managers how to understand their strengths and how to see the strengths and weakness of their employees so you can pull it out of them, right? And then you can turn around, you can do a version of that for the average consumer. To help reach goals in life, you have to know what your worth is, right? What's your worth based on? Your talents, right? So if I have to say anything about you, you're like a gold miner. You go into people's hearts, souls, and energy gestalt, and you find the gifts, and then you activate them. And you can create. Yes, and you're very gifted in this area, my dear. So all these words are being recorded. You can come back and listen to it again. It's a lot of material, but I hope that this makes sense to you. Okay, my dear? Thank you, love. Take care, Alicia. Bye-bye, honey. Okay, going to go to the second caller. Well, let me just go check something first. Make sure that we don't have any donations. Good, I'm glad we don't. Okay, I am going to the second caller. Here it is. Oh, that would be Amy, who's just listening. Thank you, Amy. And we're going to go to the third caller, who is Barb. There we are. Hi, Barb. Hold on one second. Absolutely. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. Go ahead. No, that's fine. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see it. Yeah. 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 Okay. No. What is his name? What what is his what is his name, please? Okay, don't give me too much more information. I don't really like it. I was gonna say, as soon as you told me you had a problem with the cat mail, I saw spraying all over the place. Um, I, I thought it was urination. I didn't know what it was, but I could see him out of control. Well, let's see. Now, I want to just clear a couple of things that are in my head that are not necessarily psychic. Everybody, I don't want to sound like a crazy cat lady, but I used to watch this show where this guy with this long beard, I think he was on Animal Planet TV show, used to help people with their cats who had problems. Yeah, he was great. And there was a, yeah, and there was a, yeah, no, well, what he did in one episode where this was happening with another cat is he did something to remove the cats outside the house, the wild cats. And I think it was either he had them taken away, but he did something to give the cat territory and no longer feel it needed to protect or mark its territory. So right now, what you have, see, right now you have an animal and it's tantamount to having it in a cage being surrounded by lions. So it's, Buddy's going crazy. Buddy's like, you know, but now I'm good. So that's the first answer, but let me go to a different level and see what spirit has. Okay. All right. All right. Hold on a second. Okay. One of the things I see is, do you give him toys to play with, please? You tie, does he play with them? Okay. Don't say anything else, love. Let me just, all right. Just go. So see that. Hold on. Okay, that I'm not getting any more information that way. So what I'm going to do is channel. I go to a different way to get information. Hold on one second. You are opening up doors for this new pet in your life. You've opened your home to him. You love him very much, and he does love you very much. He's just excited about the new territory that he has, and he does want to create his space, as you've already determined. It is not easy to take a cat who is outside inside. The cat will have trauma from that for a while to come. The reason is he's used to defending himself in all ways every day. He's not used to being safe. He's not used to being safe. This is easy for him to overcome over time. He will learn how to be more mellow with time and with his territory safe. But it will not happen immediately, it will happen eventually. In the interim, you do have to find a way to allow him to have jurisdiction over the outside without letting him out. You need to allow him to feel like he's able to control his space without actually going outside. Okay, these cats that are coming into your yard, can he see them? Is there any way to like get them away?
Yes, he can. Yes.
Okay. Because what I see is a sliding glass door, and I see sort of an enclosed patio. Okay, enclosed patio, and it has walls around it or something, like it's nice, but animals can come in. Is there any way that you can make it so that these animals don't come in anymore? Can you put up a fence or some other method? But they,
Actually, I told the cat
yeah. I wonder what you could do to keep. Well, there.
maybe what I should do is check those Jack and Gallus and see if he has some kind of device, the pitch device and there's something.
Yeah, because what I'm getting is if you can clear that space out the back that he can see out and know there's no one there, safe, it will help him down. And the other places in the house don't feel quite as threatening. I don't see floor to ceiling windows elsewhere. I see windows, but they're not floor to ceiling. So that particular location, if he'll be looking out and he sees it's empty, it calms him down and he'll get more mellow and more sleep over time. I also see using catnip or some tranquilizer to calm him down a bit. But there's an adjustment going on. Eventually he will settle down into his this message is eventually he will settle down to his new home, and these are things you can do right now. Mellow him out, some kind of anything that calms a cat. There are holistic methods for that. Like there's a cat spray, and there's some kind of herbal thing you can do. And I don't want to give him a straight tranquilizer because that would knock him out. But something that calms him down. And okay, and then get that yard cleared somehow. Get for that, okay? All right, love. Best I can. Yeah. Yeah, that's what they're saying. There will be an. Yeah, yeah. And he's not used to that. Yeah, he's not used to that at all. But he's getting used to it, love. Thank you so much, honey, for calling. Thank you. Love. Thanks, you too. Bye-bye, honey. Bye. Okay, I'm going to fourth caller, if I can find the fourth caller. Heather. Oh, Heather Frank, yes. Hi there, Heather. How you doing, sweetheart?
Hello.
Hi, honey. I'm doing fantastically, love. Okay, so you wanted another side connection, and everybody listening, by the way, if you call in 15 minutes early on Facebook as well, join my mailing list. You're reminded by calling in 15 minutes early to the number 347-945-5849 gets you in the queue earlier, and I can get to you. Okay, Frank, other side. I do feel there are people there for you. Well, first, before I felt a male figure to you, now I'm hearing mother figure. Could be grandma or someone else. Let me see who else shows up. Mother. I keep hearing mother, mother. Mother may not be your immediate mother. It may be a mother figure, a grandmother, or someone like that. I'm going to see if there's anybody else there, and I'm going to ask you to pick. Okay? See if there's anybody else wants to come forward from the spirit realm for help. Heather Frank, please. Oh, I can't seem to see anybody else at the moment. The father figure or whoever that was disappeared. There is a vision in front of me, and I don't know if it has to do with your mother, but there's somebody who sort of collapsed. It's a male body, collapsed, and is in the lap of somebody, like he's hanging out there, like as if somebody fell down and had a heart attack. Would you know of anyone that had a heart attack and it was like happened in front of someone else? Do you know of anything like that, love, or collapsed?
I don't believe so.
Okay. All right. What are you doing in the back? Are you doing anything in the background, Heather? Okay, don't do anything else but focus. Okay? Because if you don't focus, I can't read for you. Necessary. All right, love. Because it's like you're the antenna, and it's like I got a lot of static unless you're focused. So just be still. Okay. All right, there is another person. There's a male to you that feels like a brother or a friend. Okay, who's also around you. See who else? You have there's a couple of younger souls in spirit feel like children. I don't know if they're your children or whatever, but there's a feeling of a younger child to you in spirit as well. I do not feel trauma surrounding you with this particular situation, but I feel there is something there, as if you might have lost a child or had a miscarriage, or perhaps even something else surrounding that. Would that make any sense to you, please? I mean, what I'm saying is, did you ever have a miscarriage or an abortion? Okay. All right. So you haven't lost a child then physically on earth. Oh, okay, good. That's good. But I feel that there's something there, so I'll just leave that alone, even though you're not recognizing. There's something there with a child or some child that's in spirit that knows you. Uh, and that was trying to speak to you. Oh, okay. There's more to this love than I can really get easily. There is a boy that's in spirit that tries to speak to you. Do you know anything about that love? Because I know you get messages.
Yeah, I can feel them around me. I can't pick up on the messages.
All right. Well, this is probably something we need to talk about a little bit because I think there's a clearing that needs to happen here. you might you might feel a little bit perturbed about this, or not quite settled with it, if you will. Is what I'm picking up. That is upsetting to you sometimes at a deep heart and soul level. You can't really figure out what this is, or what he's doing, or what he wants, or where he's going, or why he's caught, or if he's caught between worlds, if you will, between astral and the spirit kingdom. So what I'm going to do is try to pull him in a little bit, love. Right? And I think we'll have to send him into the light. I think we're going to have to send him into the light. Is that your own child around you now, love? Is that your own son right now with you? Who children about? Yeah, I'm going to have to ask you to please go into a quiet space, love. Go ahead, try to. All right. Let me know when you're there, love. Okay. Before we can do anything, I got to have focus. Okay. Let me know when you're there. All right, wonderful. And she won't, I think it's your daughter that was speaking just then. She won't mind too much. It'll only be a minute that we'll work together. So there is a boy, I see him about, oh, I thought he was younger than that, but they're saying 12 or 13 years old. He is caught between two worlds. He's trying to ask you for help. I see something there as if he's in a restaurant, but it feels, I can't explain. I'm going to try to explain it, but it could be where you live now, or it could be someplace you work in, or maybe it's where you're keeping that business of yours. I'm not quite sure, but it feels like there's a lot of stone or bricks and all, and it's a very beautiful, ornate kind of feeling of a cellar, like a wine cellar or something around there. Would you know of any space like that, please? Okay, I couldn't hear what you said about the boy, honey. You kind of got a little bit muffled for me. What did you say? Oh, that's fine. Okay, so that's fine. And the restaurant is a place that he was at, and maybe you don't know about it. That's what he's saying to me. It was a place that he lived before before he got hurt. Oh, goodness gracious. Feels like he felt locked in that space, locked in that space. He was unable to get out for quite a while. I feel that there was violence in his life, or beatings and mistreatment, if you will. I'm going to continue with this, even though it doesn't sound very savory, if you will. We need to clear it. He's trying to get out of a location that he's in, that he feels trapped in. It's a place where he can't breathe and he really can't get free. He's alone a lot of the time. He's unable to get out of this location. Okay, that's fine. Are you still on Earth or not? Or what can you tell me about yourself, please, young man? I feel alone a lot of the time. I'm feeling like I can't get out of the space that I'm in. You're trying to help me, Heather, get out of the space that I'm in. He says, I hear your prayers for me. He says, they are working somewhat in that I can hear them, but I still can't get out of the space. Okay, I'm going to ask him. So are you saying prayers for him, honey? Yes, no, maybe? Okay. So he hears the prayers. He's grateful for them. I'm going to see if he'll tell me a few more things. How did you get in this space, please? I got here because I was left alone here when I was young. So he could have passed when he was younger, but I'm getting the impression that he is passed, but if he stays in this location because he can't get out. So what do you want, please, from us so that you can get out? Okay? So that you can move on to spirit. He says, I want to feel connected to someone like my mother or a mother. He says, you, Heather, have a wonderful feeling energy, and I connect to you because of this. He says that you've tried to help me a few times by moving me into the light, but I don't want to move into the light because I feel you are my mother, or you're mothering towards me. Okay, so what we just learned, Heather, and everybody listening, is what he needs. He needs mothering. And if we can get him, if we can show him that there's better mothering for him in the spirit realm than a sort of a, he can't get the mothering he needs from you, okay, because he's no longer physical. So the mothering would be better somewhere else in spirit realm. So I'm going to talk to him for a moment. So would you like to would you like a guide or an angel to come to you now and help you with this? He says, I would like that. He says, but I don't see anyone here. I'm not able to get out on my own. Okay, so what we're going to do, you and me, Heather, and anybody else that wants to help, that's of genuine life, we're going to ask for his guides to come in and open up a door or open up a portal. And let's do that all now. One moment. I'm going to say it. You all can imagine it. Please, guides, come in for this young male to open up a place for him where he may move through into the light and gain greater connection with loving beings who will nurture and care for him. Show him the light. Everybody focus on that, please. Okay, now I'm watching the young boy. He's being encased in light, and he's going into the light. Okay, so what I've done here is I've created a situation where he could be taken into the light. Hopefully from this forward, Heather, you won't be feeling that anymore, that he'd be where he needs to be, that you should feel lifted. You might feel lifted right now, but maybe you'll feel lifted later if you don't right now. But you should feel relieved. Do you feel anything, honey? Do you feel anything, love?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't felt like I was mothering over him.
Well, let me say it differently. Let me say it a little differently. He was looking for a connection, and you could give him one. And he felt that it was a mother or loving connection for him, caring connection. So that reveals to us what he needs. That's what he's missing. So when we can show him that he's going to get better connection where people that are energy live, then we can transition him. Otherwise, you're in a situation you can't fulfill his needs, so you may even feel uncomfortable with that. So that's what I'm trying to say here. So he's been moved into the light. Hopefully he's going to be fine, and you won't feel like you have him floating around you anymore. I know it's not troubling to you, but imagine that you or him caught between worlds, or not in the energy space. I do believe that there are certain souls that are caught between worlds and have not found the light, but it's not just because I believe it. There are some books that you might want to explore a little bit. Did you ever read Journey of Souls by Dr. Michael Newton? Okay. And, I never used to believe in ghosts and all that stuff, but actually he does confirm it in there, because I'm more like you. I never had a ghost. Well, I have had sessions with clients where they had me clear somebody and move them into the light. I have done that. But he's Dr. Michael Newton is a therapist, lives in, I think, San Francisco, has written several books. He's a kind of like a guru or authority on life between lifetimes and the spirit realm. And he's regressed thousands and thousands of patients and done tons and tons of research about what it is, the spirit realm, what it really is. And so he's the one that convinced me finally that this stuff is real. Anyway, my dear, thank you so much, Heather, for calling in this evening. I'm going to let you go back in the queue. Thank you, everyone, for calling. Thank you, honey. Thank you, everyone, for calling in tonight. And I look forward to working with you again next week, provided everything, provided we all can make it here. Thank you, everybody, for calling in, and thank you, everybody on Facebook. Look for this next week. Join my mailing list. You'll get some free gifts, including another way to get free readings. Not from me, it's from the third party. Bye, everybody.